The refugee experience is at the forefront of the third Istanbul Triennial. The free exhibition just off the city's central Taksim Square runs until September 25th. Miranda Ati has more on this one.
Displacement, marginalisation, a feeling of rootlessness, all captured through art. The theme of the third Istanbul Triennial, no land. For each artist, forced migration means something different, but it has shaped all of their work.
We did this exhibition to lead humanity towards goodness. Art isn't always about showing what's beautiful. It should also teach what's good and react to evil. What we lack today is unity in this world. People are being fractured simply because of their ethnicities. Today we're trying to stop that with our art.
The work of 40 artists is on display at the exhibition. The rooms have no doors, and so visitors flow from one section to the next, echoing the theme of migration. This room is dedicated to the work of Iraqi artist Azad Karim. He spent the last 40 years in Slovenia, but each of the 700 ceramic pieces hanging here is a reminder of how war in Iraq has destroyed the country's art and culture.
I destroyed it, and now you have here 700 pieces. I don't know what I say. There's no comment for this. I destroyed my work, artworks, to tell for people what's the war and what's the destroyed the culture, our culture.
Many of the installations are from Syrian artists. The exhibition offers them a chance to tell stories from their war-torn land. There are Turkish artists too. Ayşe Tashkent's work was born in the aftermath of the July 15th coup attempt.
I thought it was important to make a monument of the names of the lives lost that night, though I did it abstractly. In order to do that, I used our 241 martyrs' names in my work. Beyond that, what my work, July the 15th, stands for is the coup, and one of the oldest fears of Turkish people, coup attempts.
Each room uses art in a different way to tell a personal story of displacement and migration. And though each artwork or collection of artworks is completely unique, just like the stories themselves, the overall effect is a cohesive journey that offers some insight into what it means to be a refugee. Much of the artwork at the exhibition hits close to home. The war in Syria has sent millions of refugees across the border into Turkey. And by bringing their experiences to the forefront of the Triennial, curator Hülya Yazıcı is trying to make sure we don't forget them. Miranda Ati, TRT World, Istanbul.
Joining me now in the studio is one of the artists whose work is being exhibited, Alexandra Ferezin. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for inviting me.
This year's theme is No Land. Do you feel some emotional connection with this theme?
Yes, I can actually. Maybe because I simply have an imagination of being able to putting myself in the shoes of the people that are currently in the state of war or that were in the past, let's say. Coming from Slovenia, which used to be a part of Yugoslavia, we also had a similar problematics in our lands, and still people that once used to be refugees are still living in Slovenia and had to assimilate. So yes, for me it's probably also quite normal to be able to relate to the topic, to be able to imagine how it's like.
Can empathy change the way we think, or just things we believe in? What emotions do you wish to evoke with your art?
Yes, this is what I always tend to do with my artworks. Actually, I think it's the only way for humanism today and for its salvation. Namely, if you are able to imagine the state of mind or the situation the other person is in, you can be able to relate to the problems that they have. And this is what I was trying to do also at Third Istanbul Triennial when I was invited to participate. And I hope that I evoke some empathy with my artwork.
Well, so tell us about your work.
My artwork is I call it organic installation. I like to say it's a living installation because it's really is living. Namely, it's made of soil and growing plants, and in the middle of the lush vegetation there is a baby cradle put in the middle of it. So actually the work looks like the baby cradle is somehow growing from the soil and the plants with the plants. And this is the basic of my work. I was trying to relate to the life itself, because the baby cradle looks like it has grown from the grass, and also I wanted to approach the topic of all this terrible, actually, issue of Istanbul Triennial, which is dealing with Syrian war and refugee crisis. I wanted to approach it from the opposite side, a more positive side, a side of hope, an aspect of hope.
Are there any artists or works that have caught your eye that you suggest people watch out for at the Triennial?
Yes. All of the works are actually very breathtaking. And yes, there are many that I can relate to or that caught my eye and attention from the first moment. For example, an artist, Engin Beyaz, he also created an installation made of glass doors, and which somehow emphasizes the doors for refugees. You know, they are crossing the doors all the time, more and more each time, and it's like they are homeless. They cannot get any rights, and they cannot be heard, and it's somehow really deep in its sense. Then there is Ahmet Özel's work, Others. He also has an installation depicting stones and the shoes, and I don't know, somehow it reminded me of the leftovers of Syrian refugees and the leftovers on the shores of the beaches of Turkey and Greece, and those tragic stories that happened there. Also, there is Azad Kerim, which is also from Slovenia, but originally he's from Iraq, and he has moved to Slovenia 40 years ago in the time of Iraq War. And his story is also quite strong with his art, for example, called Broken Culture. And all of the works are actually, each and one of them has a really deep story, and we can relate to it easily.
We'll make sure to watch out for those. Before you go, what else are you up to these days? Any upcoming projects in the future for you?
Aside to, I'm always developing my own projects somehow. Right now I don't have anything signed up yet. I'm looking forward to visiting Slovenia and Maribor, and the cultural scene there is going to be pretty colorful this autumn. There is an international festival of computer arts in Kibla. This is a multimedia cultural center in Maribor. And they also have a similar kind of festival, art festival, related to migration topic.
Oh, right, interesting.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Alexandra.
Thank you very
Ferrazano.
much. Thank you for inviting me.